Hey guys, Chad here, and I am bringing you, obviously, yet more wonderfulness that is Napoleon Total War, Total Tuesday, and all its fun and glory. Now, this is the Austrian campaign. Now, for those of you not aware, this was actually recorded during Friday's live stream. Now, it meant that those lovely people who were watching it live get to see it again on the gloriousness that is YouTube, but also it means that a lot of these guys don't necessarily know how to play Napoleon Total War that well, so there will be a certain level of explanation. So I'm just going to go through. So obviously what you've got is you've got your map over here, map of the world. You can see, you can zoom in there, and I am currently playing as the Austrian Empire. Now that's pretty much me there, all in the brownish, the beige. Yeah, that's kind of me all over. I'm just a walking version of beige, really. So, this shows the government. So you can see here, we are an absolute monarchy. You can see here, the monarchy is Franz I, rather dour individual. You can see the population, how much money we've got in the bank, what our prosperity is, what our prestige is. And here is the projected income. So you can see trade is doing quite well, and we're actually getting nearly equal numbers of trade compared to tax income. And then obviously what you see there is how much it's costing us to upkeep the army. And so at the moment the army is at 18,835 per turn. And you can see we're currently at war with Spain and France, and we're allied with pretty much everybody else, and we're still trading with pretty much everyone else. Now you can also put in things like policies. Now it enables you to essentially either auto-manage taxes and construction. I invariably tend not to do that, but you can then basically tax people at certain levels, so you can actually change it. So you can basically tax, if you wanted to, you could tax the nobility at a higher level than the lower classes, like that. And so as a result there would be either negative effects. You can see that basically how happy the place is depending on that. The nobility, you can get an absolute ton of money out of them. But at the moment, I'm just leaving it there. And you can also click here, and it will take you to this place, which will show you the lowest public order. Okay, so you can see obviously all this kind of stuff here. You've got obviously the growth in the turn. You can see roads, industry. The tax basically has a negative effect. And you can see total growth per turn. You can also see aspects here. So religion obviously is a relative factor in here, so obviously you know, depending on whether you're Catholic or Protestant, you can obviously find this information out from here. As you can see, we're Catholic. So you've also got ministers. You can replace them. I pretty much never bother with this kind of aspect. You can, if you want, fire ministers if you're not happy with them and put better ministers in their place. You can see more sort of better at their job sort of thing. You can't fire the monarch obviously, for wish of trying. And then obviously you can move into trade. So you can see here all the sort of world market. So you've got furs, ivory, and then obviously the values of that. So you see tea is not very expensive, but tobacco is reasonably okay. Ivory's doing all right, and cotton. And then you can see obviously the resources that are available, and the values, and the exports. Okay, so here obviously are the objectives. So I've got to try and get Stuttgart if I can. Now that's that area, and it's already been taken by the Prussians. So I've got to hope that I can get that back somehow. So yes, I do have a separate machine running the recording, and so you can see obviously any missions you've got, what the victory conditions are. You can see I've got to hold 12 of 60, and I've still got to maintain control of Austria. Okay, now this is the diplomatic relations. So you can see here attitudes towards you, whether they're monarchies, as you can see, constitutional monarchies, absolute monarchies, Protestants, as you can see, Prussia's Protestant, Catholicism, Islam, Orthodox, all that kind of stuff, okay? And then you can see the attitude towards you. So obviously the attitude of the Austrian Empire towards me is irrelevant, because I am the Austrian Empire. But you can see here the French are hostile, and then obviously the reasons why. -200 war. That's usually a good reason not to like someone. Alliance with an enemy nation, another good reason. Territorial expansion, etc., etc. And you can see factors like same religion and national leaders not respected. You can see we're at war. Now, the Kingdom of Prussia, we have a military alliance. They pretty much love us. You can see we're trading with them, and we're actually allied with them. Kingdom. Spain, click on here, it will show it to you in white. You can see they're allied with the French Empire and pretty much against everybody else. The Ottoman Empire, which is down here, is okay. The Russian Empire, which you can see is here and here, a slight aberration. We'll deal with that at some point. And then obviously you've got the United Kingdom, which is up here, and they're pretty friendly, and we're trading with them as well. You've also got all these minor nations. Now you can see there that the Kingdom of Sardinia, which is down here, the Sardines, their port in the home region is at full capacity. So, or a sea route cannot be established, so I can't trade with them. Now, if that red X was not there, I could potentially trade with them. And as you can see, the Kingdom of Saxony, I'm already trading with them. Pretty much no boats are required. It's pretty much all done that way. And you can open negotiations with him. You can say, present state gift, become protector, all that kind of funky stuff. Okay, now, research and technology. This is where it's a little bit more complicated than the likes of Rome too. So you've got all these aspects here, so you can right click on them and it will tell you all the effects. So like for example, +2 happiness for the lower classes, -5 wealth percent generated by mines, -5 wealth generated by industrial buildings enables you to build a court of appeals. But the most important thing in there is +2 happiness for the lower classes. So if they're unhappy because of taxes, you can start improving things. So you've obviously got things like metric systems, and so you've got civil, military and industrial, and these are universities. So we can click on the university here, and after you've built up those universities, you can essentially then put research into them. And we've actually got some agents in there, some gentlemen like this man here, who's basically will help in the matters of research. So at the moment we've got 2 universities in the Austrian Empire, each of which have 3 agents in them helping with research. Hello Norwegian. Hello, hello. So, and hello Bidan, or Bidand, and Pip on Pip, or Pippo Pip 1. Fantastic. Anyway, so here you've obviously got military aspects. So you've got things like field ambulances. We're investigator wheel. In the process of doing research on the Grand Battery, so it means 5% bonus to artillery, accuracy, barrage, and then obviously enables you to build the ordnance board. And then the carcass shot, which is obviously a wonderful thing, enables you to create carcass shot for experimental howitzers and create experimental howitzers. And so you can see here that these ones here enable you to build the drill school. This one will enable us to build a military academy. You've also got industrial, which I've kind of neglected a little bit, and I need to sort of turn around if I possibly can. Yeah, I do play Napoleon. This is Napoleon Total War, is what we're playing at the moment. So this is Napoleon Total War Darth mod, which is what we're playing at this current moment. So you've also got the building browser if you want to have a look to see what level the buildings are, what's next in the list, and all the rest of it and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really touch the building browser. You've also got lists, so you can see, essentially you can sort it and see, oh look, this is where the largest army in my entire empire is located, in Prague, in Bohemia. And so you can see, obviously, you've got these guys over here, you've got these guys, you've got this little fellow in Switzerland. It also shows you how many move points they've got available to them. So you can see this is why the army is costing me a lot of money, because I have shitloads of troops pretty much everywhere. Now, as you can see in here, you've got this little thing here, which basically shows that the troops are being replenished, which basically means their numbers were being taken down by battle, and they are slowly replenishing over the course of time. So you can see at the moment they're at 213. That should be about 300 generally. You can construct stuff at a particular location, so you can see you need a certain amount of money, and you need mass mobilization in order to build the drill school. You can also build small star forts around certain areas that you think are going to be choke points. You can repair buildings, you can set fire to buildings, or if you wanted to change the specialization of a building, you can click on that icon there, the building type, and you could choose something else. So these are options that are available to you. You can recruit additional troops. You just click on them and it'll recruit them, and it will tell you how many rounds or turns, in this case, it would take to recruit them. And then once basically they're recruited, they get added automatically to the army that's located inside. Infrastructure. So if you look at the likes of roads, you can see it enhances plus 16 town to wealth in the region, improves campaign map movement speed, and also replenishes or improves replenishment rates. And then obviously you've got the army there. If you want to enlist a general, you can. You're obviously limited to 6 out of 6 generals and distance from the capitals. So if you wanted to move up the capital, you might want to, I don't know. But obviously you can see it costs you to recruit a general. So at the moment we have 6 of 6 generals. So you've got to manage them. And you can see here, there's one of my generals. He gets aspects of his personality. You can see riding master, siege expert, confident general. He has general staff, and he can have followers and all the rest of it. And this guy over here as well, as you can see, he's got a decorated hero, reduces the losses by 10%, plus 1 morale. And look at this guy. I mean, this guy is absolutely devastating. So he is probably one of the primary generals. No stormtroopers, no stormtroopers. So what we're going to do is you can see here that this army here will be in the process of recruiting and trying to build up his numbers as quickly as possible, because that little grey bar, that shows the built-in garrison, and then your troops over the top of that. So but what we're planning to do is, we've already had a battle with this guy and we mauled him pretty badly, but I do not want that army to get away. I want to literally completely wipe that army out. So if he does not get too far away, the next turn I will send that guy after him and that guy after him to finish him off completely. Let's move on to the next turn. Now, if you want things to speed up, press the spacebar. And you can see here, the French did have Paris taken by the Prussians. The Prussians are currently... I mean, I'm dealing with Paris and I'm dealing with Spain, but there's a possibility I will need to deal with the Prussians in the near future, because they are becoming extremely large and quite dangerous. As you can see here, look, they're pretty much owning all along the top here, and they're starting to push pretty seriously into France. They had Paris for a short while, but weren't able to hold it. And you can see, obviously, it's going to be a problem. And it's possible that we may have to cut those guys in half because they become too big a threat to us. As you can see, there we go. And they've taken Paris. See what I mean? So this is why the Prussians are a threat right now. Hey, Louis. So this is the Russian Empire. You can see them moving around. You can see them all moving around. The smaller... Now, this is the Ottoman Empire, who pretty much seem to literally walk between bridges for everything they do. But they do have 3 large stack armies. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this. So they are attacking my guys here inside. But we are then reinforced by 6,000 men. And, yeah. Banderas. Not a smart general by the looks of it. So I think it's fair to say the odds are in our favour. Let's wait and see what happens. I think it could be a case of waiting for them to come to me. Let's find out. So this will actually show you the layout of the battle that you're about to fight. So that's where they'll spawn. This is where I'll spawn. Those probably not rivers, they're probably roads. So I'll have to wait and see. Was it? Oh, sorry, I apologise, Lewis. Okay. So. Oh, and it's snowing. Wonderful. So this is my little army. And this is their general. Now, they've got these guys who are pretty good because they are essentially Jaegers, which means they've got rifles and they've got extended range. Now, let's see. You can see that little indicator there. That little red indicator basically shows what range they can shoot to. So if you look at these guys here, you can see they probably don't have as high a range as those guys because they've got the rifles. Now, what I think I need to do, get all of these together into a section, like so. Move those guys back. Keep these guys here. Now, what you do is you hold down the right mouse button. You can either put them into a small group like this, or you can click and drag from the left-hand side. If you drag from the other side, it will turn it around in the opposite direction. So if you want them facing in the direction you're sort of going, you always want to drag from the left-hand side. So that will set those guys up in a line, okay? Now, what you can do here is you can set them up by clicking, dragging. You can see it gets smaller. Lines get thinner and thinner and thinner, but they stretch out further, so they cover more area. See? And there you go. And you can build them up or move them into position right from the start in this particular way. So the problem is that I'm thinking I want to have my troops back here because they've got a cannon. Now, if I can get, what I look to do is to try and get one of the cavalry right up the side. So he will basically, let me show you on the big map, he will ride all the way up the side there and try and attack from the rear. That's essentially what that guy's going to do. And so I don't really want my forces in between or standing out on the open field ready to be shot at with big solid cannons. So I'm going to use those guys as a ambushing force, and we'll keep the general at the back here. But we're hoping that the reinforcements come. And there they are. So here comes some of the general staff. So that's the direction that the army is going to come from. And here, over here, look at all these guys. Oh, wow. So there's general staff there and another army. So two armies coming in from multiple directions. So let's take these guys. Just move them there for the time being. So that we can basically move in against the Spaniards. So you can see there. See the grenadiers. And you can see at the back here, I'm just moving it around with the mouse. Click on that, and there you go, there's the reinforcements. So you can see I'm essentially moving it around and just moving the mouse cursor around. If I want to move down to their level, I can go down, or I can move up, I can do whatever I want. So, let's see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set those guys up and tell them to put stakes down. Now what that means is they'll flatten out their number, and then they'll put spikes and stakes in front of them. I probably should have put them there, but never mind. And so it will protect them against any run-ins from cavalry. So these guys now may need to run out of the way. Let's see. There we go. So let's just try and just get them sort of there-ish even. Now, let's bring these guys up, because what you've got is you've got these horses that are coming round now. Now, for those of you who are not aware, you can actually do this thing called squaring, and what that enables you to do is to basically turn the enemy, or turn your troops into a square, which enables them to defend against horses, and you're about to see it here. Bingo! Square. And watch this. They go into square formation.
Sir, our general is under attack.
Let's move the general out of the way. There's a square formation, and you can see that. See, that's flashing. That basically means that we've broken their cavalry almost immediately, so they're now routing. And you can see over here as well. Look at these guys. Let's get them back over here as well. And they're basically, look, yeah, there we go. See, look, they're now starting to break as well. So now, these guys, unfortunately, taking a little bit of fire. Let's see. These guys here. Let's send them out of the way of these guys, because these guys are going to be engaging them. So send them up here. If you press R, it always makes them run. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and charge in after that lot. So, you've got these guys here. So, we've got the general staffs, which I am going to want to move down here to get as far away from the enemy as possible. And as you can hear, there's a lot of firing going on right now. And there's some cannons. Yay. So, let's see if we can deploy those cannons there. Ah, no. Let's not deploy those cannons there. Let's move them back to here. Like so. Now, let's see. What we need to do is these guys have now dealt with those forces. We take them out of the square and we'll start to move them up. Because what we want to do is get these guys here to attack the back end here. Here we go. This is what we're after, this lot here. So, we'll send the horse guards, the dragoons, after that guy. We'll send these guys after that guy. And then these guys will send... Oh dear, that's not good. My cannons are going to get in trouble. I have to send these guys in to attack them. That's the trouble with these reinforcements, is the cannons are going to come under fire.
Entire unit is dead, sir.
Yeah, lost all my cannons. Not exactly unexpected, but let's send those guys in. Now, these guys here can go after that lot. Put them into that formation and get them to charge it. So you can see now, these guys are attacking the general. Get these guys here as well, attacking. Those guys into there as well.
Glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
So, as you can see, we're taking out these troops here. We're taking out the general. That's essentially what we're trying to do, is finish off the general. Okay. We lost the cannons, which is annoying. Go and get them. Let's get those. Just get those guys the hell out of Dodge. And then we'll bring these soldiers round. Actually, what we'll do is we'll use these soldiers to hit those, or those guys to hit them, and then we'll bring up our line troops. Excellent. Now, one thing that happens when you kill their general is it basically demoralises the troops. Uh-oh. Just charge into them, you fools. So let's see. Let's charge them into those guys. You can see anyone who's basically outlined like that is pretty much in deep shit, or they're routing. And these guys are probably going to rout any second now when they see the cavalry coming down on them. Hello, fellas. Surprise. Oh yes. So this is now basically Gutchery. So we'll end the battle there. So, as you can see, he deployed 1282 and lost 1240. I deployed 7,000 and lost 215. And he died. So, yup. Oh, the French. Did you see that? The French took Paris back again. So this guy's had his path blocked. Don't know who the hell he is, but let's put him in there. Let's have a look. So, enemy raid. The Basel forces, how dare they? Let's repair that. There we go. We click on that and that repairs. Let's see. If we look at the army here, and then I think what I need to do is take 1, 2, 3 and put them in there. And that's basically, you just click on there, right click, and it goes there. It's so much easier organising armies in this game compared to Rome 2. So much easier. So there you go. There's Switzerland. So you see all these armies, these people have been recruited. So we've got 2,425 for the next turn. And yeah, obviously, these two guys have had their path blocked. So, now, we, I believe, need to start pushing in towards Paris. Because we really need to do something about it. But, my concern is the fact that I'm leaving these guys woefully undefended. So I'm going to put some more troops in there. Now, fortunately, if they attack this point here, I have got a rather nice, well-stocked army with an extremely good general ready and waiting to twat the French if they take that from the Russians. Now, the good thing is if that happens, that basically means that I will be getting the Russians here out of this section of Italy. It also means that I will get this resource here, which is gold, which will obviously help me in some respects with money and exports and all that kind of funky doodle stuff. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm sorry, Russia, but I'm not going to help you defend this city. If the French take it, which I'm kind of hoping they will, but I don't think they will based on the number of troops, and they've got another army over here that's also small. You can see here, by Venice, I've got a reasonable size army, but I can't create another general. So that's pretty much what we're going to do there. If they take that, these guys will march almost immediately. Straight in, take that city, and then I'll own that city and this area down here, and then I can just have to worry about things like the Papal States and other crap like that. So that's the way we're going at the moment. So armies-wise, let's have a look to see what we've got. So we've got this guy here. Great army in Prague in Bohemia. You've got this guy in Turinos, which is the one going for France. You've got this guy in Moravia, which is round the side of Prussia. Not moving him. You've got these guys, where is it? Switzerland. These are the two in Switzerland. You've got this guy in Venice, not moving him. These guys over here in Budapest, Hungary. Another section there. So, I'm thinking that maybe, let's have a look. Maybe Prague, possibly? I don't know, see. See, is that one? There's Prague there, but then that's... I lost Prague once already. And I don't want to lose it again. That could be a good makeup of troops there. There. But as you can see here, it's guarding that area. See, because I've got an army there, I've got an army there, and obviously there's a smaller army there with Vienna, and that really needs to be a better army. I really need to boost up the army in Vienna right now. So, the question is, what do I do? Because that army's going to be replenished, that army's going to be improved. I suppose if I dealt with, once this army here is stopping the French from pushing in through this territory, through Marseille. So that army is protecting that area, even though that area there has just been attacked. So you can see all these multiple generals that I've got. and they're all pretty much tied up, really. That's the problem. Because if I take somebody like this guy here out of Prague, I mean, obviously we've got Saxony defending that area, but that's not to say that, you know what, let's have a look. How many has he got there? Let's take 2 out of there and send them to that area there. And we'll... oh, just go away. It's supposed to be one person entering. Really? There we go. So that's now a full army. And don't even know what happened there. So we'll send that guy back. So you can see now that's a full army. Which means what we're going to do is going to take this army here in its entirety. And move it down to here. Which means we'll have 3 high stacked armies with good generals to make a push into Paris. Now the only drawback is that guy is quite low on the generalship. I'm wondering if it's maybe better to have a different guy there. See, he's in Switzerland. Right, let's have a look at the numbers. So there's that guy who is okay. So him, or possibly, Prague. I don't know. To be honest, I'm going to have 2 fantastic generals and a slightly lesser general. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So, let's move on. Let's see. Okay. You see Paris here taking a bit of a battering at the moment from the Prussians. And you see yet more armies from Prussia continuing to move in. And you see there's probably old Boney in there who's going to be trying to, you know, stop everything that's going on. But hopefully we can get in there and do something about it. You see the Russians, Vilnius and Lithuania. Home of Marco Aurelius. If you get that book reference, I'll be very impressed. So, agent has been detected. An agent of Spain. Okay. So, as you can see now, Bavaria has got a stronger army. It's starting to improve. And then, obviously, we're going to have... the hell, I don't even know what he's doing there. Oh, don't tell me only... oh, son of a bitch, only one came from there. You steamy great pillocks. The whole army is supposed to have gone there. There we go. So those guys will continue to move. And we shall move them up here. No. We'll have to move them through here. Because we don't want to piss off those guys. And then, if we look down here... let's see. Which is the better general, that guy? And you can see they're taking a little bit of... oh, son of a... have they done it again? No, they haven't. An idiot. We'll have to go back there. That guy will have to move up there. So they're taking a little bit of attrition because of the snow. So there's not really a lot I can do about that. But hopefully we can move those guys up and make use of them. In the meantime, let us put in some cuirassiers. Just leave it in there. Okay, what are the French Empire? There's Boney building up a large army to take on anybody who comes after Paris. Which means essentially that's why I need the 3 armies to do any kind of damage to Paris. Make snowmen. Oh, shut up, silly boy. I see lots of walking around. Lots of Prussians walking, and more Prussians walking. And guess what? There are more Prussians walking. Oh, look! A Prussian at sea. And it looks like he might be trying to sneak round the side, maybe to Spain. Prussians are starting to get ambitions in Spain as well. Blimey. They are an ambitious bunch, aren't they? So, let's see. So you can see there, obviously, I want to see. I watch the CPU move because I want to see what the CPUs are doing, so that if need be, if suddenly I get outflanked by an army I didn't expect, I know about it, I can deal with it, and what the hell. I do hope that's not the sign of those guys starting to get a little fruity. That would be unfortunate. I don't really want to have a battle on 2 fronts. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And you can see what they're doing there is they're pirating. They're basically on the trade route. So you can see these guys now basically pirating the trade route. You can see there that you know, United Kingdom makes 1,370. We make 4,000 from that. And you can see we've lost. Oh goodness, he's lost 420 men. And we. Oh god, that's going to be nasty. So that means essentially we need to get them out of that area of attrition as quickly as possible. We need to put that Burke back in there. But fortunately the attrition has now ended. So, but the trouble is as soon as they move into enemy territory, that will be it. So, there we go, see? No more replenishment. Same with that guy. So, time to move this fella up. So you don't have any kind of rushing manoeuvres or anything like that. Not Russian manoeuvres, like speeding up and getting them to move in. You don't have that kind of thing. So, there's the good general. There's the okayish general. And then obviously we need to bring this guy in as well. As you can see, we've had quite a few battles around Württemberg and over here as well, which reminds me, what's that? Timber. Yeah, let's construct that. Help increase the economy. And then obviously in modern university you have to have dialectics, which means we look under here, we don't have dialectics yet. See, we've still got to build a court of appeals before we can then start doing that stuff. See, unavailable, blah blah blah, Masonic Lodge, Supreme Court, funky doodle stuff. So there's a possibility that we would have to build, like, for example, a court of appeals, but that's like 6,000, so we'd have to make a definitive decision to do that. And what's going on? These guys are just standing here. Why are they not doing anything? Oh, so frustrating. I just want them to get in there and start beating the snot out of each other. Anyway, let's move on. More French armies coming into Paris. Let's see. Interesting. Making to push into the bottom of Italy, maybe. That could be very interesting. A slight turnaround. Okay. So you can press spacebar and they'll slow down, but then they'll walk at normal speed and it's like, oh god, the boredom. So we'll wait and see. Whew. Okay, the Naples guys, there we go. See, they're sending an army down and kicking the French out. And those Spanish pirates are causing problems. So we've now got the Grand Battery, which means that they're going to be researching trade unions. This is the Opera House, Milan in North Italy, as you can see, obviously. Now, they still have not attacked, and they still have not attacked. Oh, they're barricaded. Why are they barricaded? Makes no sense to me. Anyway, I've got to move these guys up first. And then once they've moved up, which as you can see here, the red, that's 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns to get them into the same position. And then, if we move this guy into here, you can see we've got to fight that guy to get across the bridge. Unless we go over here. But then that's going to be a tricky situation. We'll see. We'll see. I wonder if I can get there. No, cancel move. So that would actually take me into Prussia. So I'll move them back down here, which means that we will have to march in and do that guy, who's basically Fusiliers of the line. But it means that immediately that will get the attention of the French, which is kind of what we would like. Oh look, one of my spies. Now, let's see if we can get him infiltrating. Yes, he has now infiltrated into France, into Paris. So I've got a guy in Paris now, which means that, like, for example, when I attack, I can get him to open the gates, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. As you can see, these are very, very single-person armies. That's a biggish army. And you can see there's Nappy. Lots of cannons, as you would expect, and a shitload of cavalry. But also you've got over here a smallish army of the Prussians, along with a reasonable sized one with lots of cannons. So we need to really start pushing up there soon. So I need to get this guy here to there, and I need to get this guy, wherever the bloody hell he is, to there as well. So let's end the turn. Now, it's just a question of whether or not the French decide to try and ambush me in that particular area. And that's a possibility, but the good thing is if they do, I've still got a pretty good army. The question is whether or not I'll actually be able to make it up there before any kind of attrition or any kind of battles just sap the general strength of the armies by the time they get there. Which is why it's good to capture territory on the way, and then you're in a position to actually kind of replenish your armies in that respect. So we'll have to wait and see. So, but I am watching the Prussians with suspicion, unfortunately. My apologies to any Germans out there. But in the current AI, the way I've played, obviously, these games, I've been, well, for those of you who saw the whole series that went on with Mao for Shogun 2, I only have to know how much I didn't enjoy that particular experience. But anyway. So, as you can see, the Russians sniffing around. You've got another gentleman who is doing something. Don't even know what he's doing there. And there's Naples taking out the French Navy. And there's more Naples and more Spaniards Looks like the Brits are historically trying to take Gibraltar. They don't like it up 'em, they do not. And that's probably Nelson, I would guess. So, let's see, what armies do we have here? So, let's bring this guy to here. And let's bring our little friend here. See, he's going to take a little while to get there. He's going to take, what? Another 3 turns to get to that one. Yeah, another 3 turns to get to that position. So, I'm thinking, let's attack him. Let's auto-resolve that. And then we'll use him to block any attempts to cross that bridge. Actually, you know what? Can we get down here? Yeah, we can. We'll put him there to stop any pushes in from that direction. And then we'll keep them both there to essentially hold that area until such times as the Third Army arrives. Should be there. So in about 4 turns. So that's essentially the plan, which means we can then push up into Paris with this large army and start to do some damage against the likes of Nappy here and his little cohorts of Fusiliers of the line. So we'll obviously, I think there'll be a battle. The trouble is, you can see here, means that they'll be reinforced by everybody in Paris. So if we can draw him out, defeat him, wound him, knock him off the battlefield, then attack Paris, we'll be in a strong position. And that will have to come in next week's episode of Total Tuesday. So, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and we of course will see you next time for more Total Tuesday. Take care.